Evening, fight fans. How's everyone doing tonight? We have a special guest with us today. First, I'm going to introduce our studio regulars. In the upper left hand corner, we have Stevo, founder and creator of the Fighting News. We have Gerardo, photographer, best in the business. Mike Feinberg, ace reporter. Me, you all know me. And we have Bellator star, Jornel, A1 Lugo. What's going on, Jornel?
What's up, man? How's everything?
Everything's good. Everything's good. You got a big fight coming up. Tell us about it with another. I don't. I really want to know how they managed to set you up with another South Florida bantamweight. Tell us how that happened.
I mean, I probably just coincidence, honestly, that we're both from the same area. But after my last fight against Brian Moore, they contacted me like a week later, pretty much, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to fight Danny Sabatello April 22nd?" And I'm like, "Man, I just fought. Like, what the hell? Like, I need to, I gotta take a couple weeks off, then get back into camp and stuff like that." But then I was like, you know what? Let me see if they give me a new contract. If they give me a new contract, I'll take the fight. So they gave me a new contract, so it was on. And then in the midst of that, that's when they wound up telling me, "Hey, whoever wins this fight is going to be fighting Leandro Higo." So I was like, "Oh, word, let's go." So just good news for me.
Nice, nice. Hey, did you ever spar with Danny, or did you ever fight him before in the
Nah,
amateur range?
I trained at America Top Team Coconut Creek, and I've never sparred him, or I've seen him at like some fights, like a couple of his fights, because he was pro before I was pro. He was fighting people, and so I kind of seen when he came out, when he kind of came up, and that seen how he was. I've seen him. He's been a snotty, arrogant punk since he first came out. I seen that right off the gate. But yeah,
A
He
snotty,
mentioned
arrogant punk.
he mentioned
So,
that
but you don't know him personally. You just, you know, you don't know him personally.
what were you gonna say, Gary?
no, I was going to tell you. He's been posting that he's been trying to call you out for a few years. Can you kind of expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. He said that he'd been calling me out for a few years, but then I just posted a screenshot of I DM'd him a couple years ago, back when he was the champ in Titan FC before I was in Bellator, and I'm calling him out. Now at the time I was only like 2-0 or 3-0, so like obviously he probably wouldn't even listen to me or care about me at that point, because I'm a small fry and he's right about to go to the UFC or Bellator or whatever. But he says that he's been calling me out since the regional scene. But what sense does that make if I was like 2-0 when you were a champ, or 3-0, or like I was who? Why would you be calling me out when you were the champ? And I posted the screenshot showing that I called him out, actually. So he didn't respond to that, So it was obviously not true.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen that he's been getting on different podcasts and repeating that over and over and over again. So I just want to know what you were thinking about that.
That guy, man, he's just full of lies and hypocrisy, and he's arrogant. I just can't wait to humble him and shut him up.
Speaking of humbling him and shutting him up, I got a quote from Danny that I can read from you. I've been watching a bunch of social media and podcasts. This is what he says about you about the fight. So he says he wants to make it a violent fight and wants to torture and make you suffer, and then repeatedly has been saying he's going to beat the shit out of you. So what do you have to say about that?
Get me hyped up. I'm over here calm. Look. Have you guys watched him fight before?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You guys watched him fight before.
yeah.
If you've watched him fight, has he ever beat the crap out of anyone outside of like his first two fights ever? He's never beat the crap out of anyone. And if he did beat the crap out of anyone, he would have gotten signed by the UFC. If he did beat the crap out of anyone, when he fought Damone Blackshear, that 5-round fight, I don't know if you guys seen that fight, the crowd wouldn't have been booing him. So after the fight, he goes and tells them, "Oh, if you guys don't like my style, come and beat me." He had to literally cuss the crowd out because the crowd was booing him.
Oh boy.
So if he's actually was out here beating the crap out of anyone, people wouldn't think he's the most boring guy on the face of the earth. If things go his way, if things went his way April 22nd, he would go in there and hug me for 3 rounds straight and try his best to make sure I don't get up. If things go his way, everyone's better off watching paint dry than tuning into the fight. The only hope that you guys have of having any entertainment during this fight is if things don't go his way. So you pretty much have to go for me if you want to actually be entertained. But
that's a good take on it.
Like everything else that he says, more lies. He's not beating the crap out of anybody. He's not mauling anyone. He's holding on to people, hugging people, and boring people to death.
Yeah, well, he's got that, wrestling background. He was a Division I wrestler at a big college. That's his background. So I guess.
Yeah, and the thing about arrogancy is arrogancy doesn't allow you to see the flaws in yourself. So what he does is he thinks that his whole game is well rounded. He's one of the best in the world because he beat Brett Johns. But the thing is that he has one style. And he's good at that one particular thing that he does, but everything else in his game lacks. Could he go and get into a kickboxing fight with an amateur? Probably not. Could he go into a jiu-jitsu tournament and do well in expert division? Probably not. He can't do much of anything besides wrestle, but in his mind, he's the best in the world. But if you shut down his wrestling game like Erwin Rivera did, 3rd and 4th round, what did he do besides run backwards and bump his butt against the wall 1,000 times? Shoot, throw head kicks and fall on his butt over and over, look like a complete moron.
Yeah.
But he's the best in the world, though.
Speaking of Erwin Rivera, did you see his last fight? Looked like he came out to kill.
Yeah, he was aggressive. I seen it. Yeah, he threw those body kicks were. His energy was good, man. He had a good aggressive energy. He's out there looking. He's looking to fight. Definitely that was a good performance by him.
Yeah. So so the Bellator Bantamweight Grand Prix is what you and Sabatello are fighting for to get into, right?
Mm-hmm.
Winner advances into the tournament.
Yeah,
and that's $1 million tournament.
Yes, you go to the first round. Yep.
So if you win that tournament, you win $1 million.
Yes, sir.
So this is an opportunity of a lifetime for you. I mean, I'm really excited for you. How are you feeling?
Good. Ultimately, one of the most important things is that there's going to be a lot of attention on this and a lot of eyes on this. Think about this. I'm 8-0, and if I were 8-0 in the UFC, I'd be unranked and I would get no attention. There's so many guys in the UFC that are unranked that you've never heard of. Great fighters too. And even in Bellator, there's a lot of guys even that are top 10 that you've never heard of still in a lot of these divisions. So for me to be 8-0 in the tournament, in a position to where I'm going to get more eyes on me than the average bantamweight in any of the top promotions is a great situation for me to just show the world who I am, how I fight, and the things that I believe in.
Nice. Yeah. That's exciting.
Who do you like in that division in Bellator? If you advance, who can you see yourself fighting next? And
well, I will be fighting against Leandro Higo on the 24th. Once I beat Danny, and then after him, whoever wins out of Archuleta versus Rafian Stotts, that's who I'll be fighting. So those are both of those two are really good fighters. They're pretty much the best in the tournament already. So I don't know who's gonna win out of those two, but I think those are pretty much the toughest ones. On the other side, you have Horiguchi and Patchy Mix, and those guys are pretty good too. And then you have Magomed. He's good. Good fighters. I think this side is tougher though.
Yeah. Wow. And then Sergio Pettis had the belt in this division, and what happened to him?
Yeah, I guess he got injured. I think he got an ACL injury or something like that.
Yeah.
That's why he got pulled out. And then also James Gallagher, he also got injured. Can't be that bad though because he wants to fight in the September card in Ireland, so it must not be that bad. Just something that he couldn't be ready for this to fight so soon. But for me to get in the tournament, those two people had to get out, So
right.
I completely think, I know God honestly gave me this opportunity to get in the tournament because it wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is your time to shine, my friend.
For sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I believe that.
You know, a lot more eyes are going to be on this tournament than regular, because this is $1 million. You know, not every day they have these tournaments for $1 million. It's like game changer for everybody. You know.
Yeah, and then not only that, but leading up to the fight, the pay goes up just because you're in the tournament. The interim championship fight for me would be after my next two. So once I fight now in April and then again in June, the championship fight is after that. So I would be 10-0 fighting for a belt, for the interim belt. And that's just crazy how young I am in the sport and how inexperienced I am on paper, to have all those opportunities.
Bring us back, Jornel, to that phone call that you got. How did this come about that you learned that you were in the Bellator tournament for $1 million?
Well, I had seen that somebody posted about the James Gallagher had pulled out, so I screenshotted it and I sent it to my manager. And then when I sent it to him, he sent it back to me a message from the matchmaker saying Jornel's fighting. Whoever wins out of him and Danny's fighting against Leandro Higo. That's how I found out.
What?
Yeah, so it was I was driving to the gym, and then I got that text. I'm like, let's go.
There you go.
And I'm just like, thank God, because I'm not supposed to be here. Once again, like I said, everybody keeps like, oh, how do you feel that you weren't in the tournament? And I'm just like, whatever God asked for me, I'm okay with, So
yeah.
And I was fine either way. And he put this on my plate, and I said, Lord, give me a new contract if this is for me. He gave me a new contract, so.
Well, you definitely earned it, man. You've come a long way. Like, looking at your record right now, you fought a lot of people who had undefeated records. I mean, all throughout your career, pretty much. You know what I mean? So you've earned this position, man. Congratulations.
Yeah. That was one thing I wanted to do because I wanted to be in fights where, it was competitive, and I also didn't want to have a bunch of bumps on my record and just a bunch of people I didn't want people to say, oh, well, this guy was hand fed, oh, he got fed a bunch of easy fights. So I did it for multiple reasons, but I definitely wanted to be prepared for this time. If I'm fighting against tough fighters, I need to have experience fighting tough guys,
Right. Who's been your toughest fight so far in your career?
I think Brian Moore was the most mentally difficult in terms of I didn't know exactly what should I do to get the victory. Should I take him down? Should I rush him? And I didn't know because he was good. I kind of couldn't figure out what exactly to do to get the win. So I kind of just I just did what came natural, but there was no specific direction for me to take. So in that sense, I feel like he was the toughest. Cortavius, my fourth fight, he was tough too. But I was able to, I kind of had more direction fighting him. Okay, if I take him down, then I know it's going to be simple, So I would say those two, Cortavius and what's it called, Brian Moore. Those were my hardest ones.
Right. So I know we've spoken before, and we've interviewed you before, and if I remember correctly, you said that you at the time anyway didn't watch a lot of tape on your opponents, and you had the same game plan going into every fight. Has that changed at all?
Yeah. I mean, I watch footage. Yeah, definitely. I've watched a lot of his fights. I'll just go in there and I'll just look at the fights and see what he does and his reactions to certain things. I definitely watch footage. I'm trying to see exactly what his tendencies are, and I try to figure out what to do based on that. Obviously, when you get in there, it's never exactly what you thought it was going to be just because styles make fights. But I definitely do watch film, and I try my best to figure out what to do based off that.
How's your weight? How's your weight?
I mean, it's better than it was my last fight because my last fight I was really big, like a month out. And then I dieted all the way to the fight, but then I was too small because I just lost too much weight. And then I cut the weight, and I was just I went back in that ring at 145, 146. So weight cutting for me is difficult because the only thing I know how to do is lose weight. Yeah. So then when I cut the weight, I'm just small, Yeah. So this time what I try to do is kind of I'll try to keep working out all the way up until I'm gonna be working out this week, and then next week I'll stop. But I'm a little bit bigger this time, so I'm 154 right now, waking up in the morning. but I'm trying to like carry that. I want to like. So usually when I'm fight week, I'm like 148, and then like right before my last cut, I'm all the way down to like 140, and then I'll cut the last 5. It'd be very easy, but I'm not that big of a guy, you know. So this time I'm trying to go over there like 150, 51 ish, and hopefully I can lose the weight and then put that back on, come back to 150, so I don't have to be like a smaller guy, you know.
April 22nd's the fight. When you going to Hawaii? What
I
day
go on
you fly
18th.
out? 18th?
Yeah.
Wow. So you like lose a day getting there, right?
Yeah. I mean, next week I'll just pretty much. Next week is, you know, if I can get down to like 51, 50, I know I can make the weight. I just have to be I don't know, I gotta be more gangster. Usually I make it too easy on myself, and because of that I'm too small. So I gotta be more gangster and cut a little bit more weight than I usually want to. But if I want to be bigger in the ring, just a little bit bigger, a little bit healthier, then I have to do that, you know.
Right. Are you working with a nutritionist, or who's helping you with the weight cut?
No, I just be playing with it. I just play with it myself, you know. Like I do intermittent fasting, so I kind of just play with it. I do 20, like when leading up to the fight, depending on how big I am, I'll start doing like 24-hour fast every day, 23 hours a day. Then I'll eat one meal, and I'll play with the meals and try to make them, you know, a good size, so that way I'm continuing to lose weight, but I still have enough energy to train. And I kind of just play with that on my own, honestly.
You know, one thing I was going to mention is Gerardo actually said it was about the record. You know, the fact that everybody you fought in your 8 pro fights, not a single one of them has had a single loss. So everybody you faced so far, they don't know how to lose. You know, they've everybody you've stepped in the ring with or the cage with has been undefeated, and obviously Danny's got that one loss. Do you think that puts him in more of an advantageous position because he realizes what he did wrong and now he knows how to correct, or do you think it's to give you the advantage that he had a loss, or do you think it doesn't matter at all?
Well, I fought people with losses. A couple of them were undefeated, but I fought people with losses. Brian Moore was 14-9, and Keith Lee was 7-4. Casbell was 5-1. But they were what's it called, with Danny Sabatello's opponents? He faced a lot. If you look at his resume, most of them were just really. I want a better word for bum. I don't want to call people bums. What should we call them?
Inexperienced
Fighters. Yeah, fought against a lot of people with losing records and things like that. And his actual loss was the first guy that he fought that was decent. You know, Irwin's a good fighter, you know, but he's not like the highest caliber in the world. And first time he had any kind of resistance, he lost that fight. And that loss for me, I watched that fight a lot, and I just see the things that Irwin did and how he capitalized on Danny. And from there, he went on to fight more inexperienced people. He fought Damone Blackshear, who was a decent fighter, but stylistically it was a bad matchup. And then he fought Brett Johns, and that was another bad matchup. Brett John gives up his back every time he goes to stand up, giving up his back. And then if you give your back up to Danny's just going to hold on to you for the whole round. He won't let you go. He'll hold on to your back and pretty much stall the whole round, to the point to where the ref in the next round had to tell him, hey, I need to see action this round. Like, he had to tell him something, you know. But I think I don't really buy in too much into the records. I buy into styles. You know, I don't feel like go ahead. I don't feel like whether you're undefeated or whether you have a lot of losses, I don't feel it really makes too much of a difference, because you look at guys like Kai Kara France. You guys seen that fight?
No.
Kai Kara France, the flyweight, he just fought. He's like 23-9 or something like that, and he's like running through the flyweight division right now on a tear. Just beat a guy that was 14-0, and he was 23-9. You know, he has a lot of losses. So there's a bunch of examples of people who have a bunch of losses who are really good. So record aside, I think my style versus his style is what makes things interesting, and I think my style is let me not say obviously better, but I think I have more to offer.
Well, I know that, obviously, 6 out of those 8 wins have gone to decision for you. So
5 out of 8 wins.
5 out of 8. Okay. I mean, you see, I don't want to say, but do you feel content actually just going the distance with Danny? You said he's not going to attack you. You said he's just going to sit there and hug you for 3 rounds. So, I mean, are you content with just trying to overpower him in that way, or do you actually want to just go out there and strike and make this a fight?
Yeah, so for my whole career, I've been trying to figure out that balance between sport and fighting, because if you look at MMA, what it is, MMA is some kind of cross between a sport and an actual death match, because you have judges, you have point system, you have a ref, you have rules, right? And then on the other hand, you could also die in there at the same time and get knocked out. There's bad things that can happen. So it's like, do I play to win on the scorecards, or do I fight to the death? If I play to win on the scorecards, the fans won't really love it too much. And if I were to lose a couple times, I'll get cut. If I fight to the death, there's a chance that I might not win, because I might get stopped because I'll make more mistakes. So that balance between sport and playing to win, and then fighting and it being a war, is the balance that I've been trying to figure out my whole career, and I think I just came to a good conclusion on what it is, and I think it's more of a balance between the two, a little bit of both, So in this fight, I'm looking to go in there and fight a lot more, I want to stop him, and I definitely want it to be more gritty, I don't want what he's intending to do. I don't want you guys to suffer the consequences of what he's intending to do. Because if you guys tune in and it goes his way, oh, you'll be mad you subscribed to Showtime, because it's going to be so boring. So my job is to make sure I go out there and put on a show and dominate him. And I believe God is with me. So I believe that's what's going to happen.
Now, I understand that we kind of have Danny come on as a guest too, but he stated straight out he doesn't want to be on the show with you.
You say what? Say it again.
I said apparently Danny stated he does not want to be. We invited Danny to come onto the show tonight, but apparently he said he did not want to be on the show with you tonight.
No, I don't want to be on the show with him either. He's an idiot.
Okay. So I was going to ask you. So how do you feel about the fact that he doesn't want to show you the respect? He doesn't want to be around you. Doesn't want to have a conversation.
Well, I mean, if we did speak, I mean, what all he's going to say is, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. I'm going to maul you. He said the same thing he says about everyone, but in reality, we know that's just all fluff and lies, because break down exactly what you're going to do. Break down what you're going to do. You're going to shoot, and you're going to try your best to hold and try your best to smother punch me from holding me the whole time. So, like, that's definitely not a mauling. You're definitely not beating the crap out of anyone. So he wouldn't have much to say besides, I'm going to beat the crap out of you, and I'm the best in the world, and everybody else sucks. That's pretty much all he's going to say in every interview.
Yeah, so stylistically, I see this going the same way that the fight against Erwin Rivera did, because I think your striking is at a different level. I remember at the time, I think most of us had pick Danny to win that fight, and Erwin just really surprised all of us with his striking. His striking was on point. His head movement, his punching, the shots to the liver, his kicks, those were all on point, and his takedown defense,
Yeah, and what was really good about that fight too with Erwin is that Erwin was very composed. He stood calm because things weren't going his way at first. Danny took him down, and he stood calm, kept working his way back up, and then it started going more his way throughout the fight. And then in the third round, he completely took over. So the fact that he was able to stay calm and stay disciplined and keep working, that's what I like about what Erwin did. Sometimes things might not go your way right away, but you just got to stick with it. And that's what Erwin did in that fight. And
right. And
where Danny's just like, he's just pure hammer and doesn't know how to get beat up. He doesn't know how to have an actual fight with someone. He just, if things aren't going his way, he seems to he's very unhappy in there and gets very desperate.
Yeah. And I think if you go back and look at our old interviews, we spoke about your composure in the ring, and you always seem to keep your composure and have that upper edge where you're in control of the action.
Yeah. I mean, usually, but I got to be a little bit less composed. That's what I got to work on. I'm too composed to the point where, like sometimes I'll win an easy fight. Like if you've seen my fight versus Cass Bell, like it was an easy fight, but I never actually took initiative to go out there and really put it on him and fight him hard. Even though it was already going my way, I kind of just coasted my way to a victory. So too much composure is also a bad thing, and that's something that I'm trying to work on.
I understand your balance, though, and I think it's important to have that balance, especially because you're in a tournament. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to last a few months, not just one fight. So you got to be able to, like, even if it's playing the cards, man, you got to think about your body, like physically, how you're gonna be the next fight as well.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is like now I gotta adjust my training because the camps are back to back. So it's like I should take one more day off, train hard, and take more days off. 'Cause I need my body to keep up with this as well. And that's the thing about fighting. You see how many people get injured, and how many people have to pull out of fights. There's a lot of demand on your body. So that's another thing. I have to adjust how I'm training and figure out exactly how I'm going to work that in because it's a lot of fights in a short time span.
It's a new situation, man. They're making you earn that million, bro.
yeah. God put the opportunity on my plate, so I'm gonna take it and trust in Him and do my best.
Absolutely, brother. It's gonna be great. I'm still trying to get out there, man. So I'll let you know.
Oh, you thinking about coming still?
Yeah, man. I already have a friend who's gonna let me stay at his house. So and I just gotta tie up some loose ends and I'll be there. I'll let you know.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, man.
What happened to my camera here? There we go. All right, so I was reading something on the internet, Jornel, about some investments that went wrong with Bitcoin or something like that. Can you tell us about that and how much winning some prize money would be right now?
Yeah, those years ago, man. I had invested. I got into Bitcoin when I was about in 2017 during that bull market back then, and I was brand new to the game, so I put all my money into one basket, and that basket turned out to be a scam. So pretty much, I put like my whole life savings, mine and my wife's life savings, like $23,000. Put it in there, and I made like 10,000, and then it all went to the whole thing rug pulled. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's pretty much when the guy who made the company like just takes the money and runs, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I lost a lot of money during that time, but just learning lessons. And what I came to the conclusion of, though, because I got back in, and I still haven't made money. All together I'm down. I've put in like 43,000 of my own money, and all I have, and I'm down like 33,000. Like I'm down. I'm always down. So everybody that I ask, when I ask people who also invest, everyone else is down. It's like no one that I know is winning. Like no one got into cryptocurrency and won.
They're all doing it, but none of them are winning.
No one's winning. Like, so I'm starting to think this whole thing is a scam. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The insiders know.
I bought
The insiders know.
the Kayla Harrison NFT from the PFL. Did you see they were doing that on their website? And just to have one, it was $25 or whatever. I don't even know how much it's worth,
I mean, NFTs might be a different story, if you get your hands on a good one. But ultimately, and this thing might be like gambling, honestly, because you don't know what's gonna be good or what's gonna be bad. You could do your research and try to make an educated guess, but like you guys said, unless you're doing like insider trading, it's hard to actually win on this.
Yeah. Well, I got an opportunity for you to bet on yourself at Bellator for that $1 million, man. It's going to be your best bet ever in life. Bet on yourself.
Yeah, I got to trust in God, man.
Yep.
If He's with me, I know I'm gonna win.
Let's go.
We're looking forward to it. We're really looking forward to it. You've been a great guy, a great asset to our channel all the time. Every interview that we did. All right, your interview with what's his name, Jared Betancourt.
Yeah.
And Devon was hilarious, man. Yeah. That's still on YouTube. If you guys are listening, you want to check out an older interview with Jornel. So we got all that. We're rooting for you, man. Definitely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I give this my all. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're training. You're doing what, strength and conditioning with Phil Daru in his gym, or?
Yeah, I was working over there for like 8 months. I recently just transitioned. I'm going to LA Fitness just because it's right next to my house, so it's less of a drive. Going to Field Ruse, I had to go down to Lantana to train, and I go down to Boca to come all the way back to West Palm, Boynton. So I'm over here. I'm spending a lot of gas. I don't know if you guys seen those gas prices lately, but they're not very
Yeah,
friendly.
I feel you, man. Jeez.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, well, I remember I walked in there, I saw you, and then you turned around and I didn't see you. What is he doing with the tiles?
I don't even know. But hey, I gotta step out, you guys. I gotta
Steve,
step
they have
out. I gotta
medication
handle
for
some
that.
stuff. But
All right,
Jornel,
Gerardo.
I wish you the best, man. And we'll be talking, bro. All
Thank you, man. I'll see you, Jared.
right, man. Peace.
All right, Gerardo, be good.
All right, later, y'all.
Yeah, so Gerardo might go out there to Hawaii. All right, hopefully he's gonna bring his camera, get some good shots.
I mean, he's been around since back when I was an amateur, back when I was fighting for XFN. So he's been there since the very beginning.
Yeah, I remember you fought Third Street Savage, Ryan Cuse,
Mm-hmm.
the XFN.
That was a good fight. That was a good fight. That could have went either way, from what I remember.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, and he's gotten even better since then.
Yeah,
he has. I think he's ready. I think he's ready for, with you guys in Bellator or UFC or,
Yeah, he'll go somewhere. It's just they just got to figure out exactly where. That's a good thing about this sport. If you're good, if you're like better than average, you're gonna go somewhere at some point. I mean, unless you have no connections, you're pretty much gonna go somewhere in the sport. That's the good thing. And he's pretty connected down in Miami at the Goat Shed. They got a lot of publicity going, so all those guys shouldn't have any problem going to the Bellator, UFC, or One or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of their fighters haven't made it to that next level yet. That I see, I still see them in, the local events.
Well, that's because their record, they're all like newer. Yeah. They're all under 10 fights. So once they start cracking up to 10 fights around there, they'll all start going somewhere if they keep with it.
Yeah, and the gym's only like 2 years old, so.
And they're making noise, some of the most noise out of all the gyms in South Florida. So.
Yeah, and they've calmed down a little. They've calmed down a little on social media.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy, so maybe they probably saw like, let's back off that a little bit. Because, what they doing it to get to the place that they are now and getting that buzz that they have going now, that was, good marketing. Because now, look, they're one of the main players in South Florida.
Absolutely. It used to be All-American Top Team.
Yeah, right. Remember back then it was just straight American Top Team. Now we have Sanford. Now that's like the other big competing gym, and they're like split right down the middle between those two gyms, really.
Yeah. So those Sanford guys, a lot of them were like came from the Black Zillions, right?
Yeah. Yep. They split from the Black Zillions, and then I think Henry Hoof went and opened up his own thing in Hard Knocks, and now they got another spot with Sanford. So, yeah. It's good, though. It gives all the fighters more places, more opportunities, more places to go to train and stuff.
You just went dark, Jornel.
Yeah, the sun's going down.
Oh, that's what it is, huh?
Yeah, that natural sunlight.
So, any last words? When you hear the quote, he's gonna kick the shit out of you, from Danny Sabatello.
Well, look, he said he doesn't care even if it was Jesus Christ that got in the ring. So, if he thinks he's gonna beat Jesus, come on, his words hold no weight. I'm not worried about what he had to say.
What are you gonna do to him?
I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna go in there and just do what I do every time, except for put a little bit more on it. I believe I'm gonna go in there and stop the takedowns. If he does get me down, I'll get back up. And I'm looking to finish him. So I definitely want to go in there. I look to finish everybody, but I'm going to try my best to get him out of there.
Nice.
Yep. We'll be tuning in for sure.
Everyone, check out this fight, Bellator. Check out this Grand Prix tournament that Jornel got the opportunity to be in, to win his way into the tournament for $1 million. Check it out. It's going to be in Hawaii, Bellator, 278.
Yeah, 278. Yep.
278. It's going to be a weekend of fights for Bellator. I know they have a bunch of fights that weekend.
This one's April 20th.
Yep.
So what would you do with the $1 million, Jornel? What would you do with the money?
I'm going to use the money to I'm going to put my brother on salary so he can go soul winning full time. He's a Christian just like me. Just give back. I want to do my best to help the Christian cause, and because I feel like the Lord blessed me with the money, so I just want to give back. And besides that, I want to take my family on a cruise. I want to do like a 2-week long cruise and just eat a lot of food and travel.
Nice.
But nothing too much, to be honest. I just want to make sure I'm a good steward of the money that God blessed me with, to be honest.
All right.
Right way to go. Admirable.
2-week cruises. By the time you're done, you're like, get me off the boat. 2 weeks on a ship, you're like, get me off.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to do something that, because it's gonna be a lot of fights, a lot of training, a lot of business. So I just want to let loose after that and just relax for a while.
Hey, sounds good. Thanks for coming on, Jornel.
Thank you guys for having me. I'll see you guys.
Definitely good seeing you.
See you guys.
Yeah. So with the Jornel said that he didn't want to go on at the same time as Danny. Like, he didn't want to, go to do that back and forth. And then Danny just didn't get back to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I gave him the time. I just never heard back from him. So.
But, we still have a week before the fight. We still can get in touch with Danny and have him come on. But it's going to be a great event. The Cyborg's fighting. Lisa Kamuch is fighting. It's going to be some great weekends of fights in Hawaii. PFL did a $4 million giveaway tournament, and it was really exciting. When people are fighting for that kind of money, you get the best. You get the best. So, because some people fight, for purses that are not even $2,000. And I'm not talking about Bellator, but I'm talking about for a fight. And
that's the local level, $2,000.
Yeah, like a local level fight, $1,000 to show, $1,000 to win, something like that. But you're not getting the fighter's best at all.
Yeah, $1 million is
$1 million is something to fight for sure.
It's kind of a split thought, because if they're fighting for such a minimal amount of money, they're looking at it saying, look, I have to win to start getting to those bigger fights where I can make some real money. But at the same time, they're thinking, I'm not going to risk serious injury over a $2,000 purse. I'll take my loss and I'll move on and see another day. So I have a future in the sport. At the $1 million level, like you're talking about, they're like, I don't give a shit if every limb in my body is broken. If I can win this $1 million, I don't need to fight again.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and these tournaments, the people are watching. It's like, you know how much they're getting paid. What's his name? Jake Paul said he wants to fight. If he did in the MMA fight, he want to fight that guy Patty. You say that, Matt?
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
I know he said that.
yeah. So that's who he wants to fight, and that guy Patty would freaking take him to town. He didn't pick a slouch. He picked a top contender.
Yeah, well, let's see if that ever happens.
Listen, he wants to fight MMA. He's gonna get a fight MMA. It's not.
Yeah,
We'll
he'll
see
do
if
what
it
he
ever
wants
happens.
because he puts
Yeah,
his
but-
money up.
What?
He
There's a
puts
lot of-
his money up. He'll get whatever fight he wants to.
I was going to say, there's not a lot of promoters out there that are really paying these guys much money. So when Jake Paul says, I'm going to pay you this, you're supposed to lose. So lose, and you get paid. And that's how Jake Paul, is going to continue his career. Because he's not a good
No,
fighter.
Patty ain't gonna get paid to lose.
How do you know?
How
don't
do you
know,
know?
right?
Unless they do a amateur event. What do you call it? Non-professional event.
Look. If Jake Paul's putting up the money, he's not going to lose because then he knows that he's going to be exposed and no one's going to fight him again. No one's going to take him seriously. Come on.
All right, if you say so.
It'd be interesting. But people pay to watch it no matter what the outcome, even if the outcome's already predetermined.
Yeah.
Pay to watch it.
Look, I like what he's done with Amanda Serrano. Maybe he'll do that with continue that and keep promoting boxing and get some of the women purses that they've never gotten before and create opportunities where and compete against some of the shady promoters in the business. But for himself, I don't think he's ever going to put himself in a situation to lose.
Yeah. So, Mike, we have any events coming up?
Any invites?
Any events coming up? We're still live.
Yeah. Well, Rise has their event coming up on April 15th. So that's
April
next
15th, Friday, April 15th. We have a Rise event.
at the Palm Beach Marriott.
Palm Beach Marriott. Get your tickets.
Or,
Download the Rise app.
Palm Beach Hilton. My mistake. The Palm Beach Hilton over on Southern Australian in West Palm Beach.
The Fight News is going to be there.
That should be a very, very decent event. And you'll be hearing about the next event, too. We were supposed to do a show a couple of days ago. Didn't do it. But this Monday, you're going to hear all about that next event that's coming up, which is going to be at the Hard Rock in Hollywood.
Hard Rock!
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about this event, I also heard that a bunch of PFC Pillow Fight Championship fighters are going to be fighting at Rise event, which is going to be pretty cool. I got some UFC royalty. Marcus Brimage is going to be fighting. We got our friend Kendall Faulkner is going to be fighting. So it's also going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great event.
Yeah.
They've been on some great events lately. This is going to be no different. So expect fireworks once again. You got some great fighters coming back that have fought for Rise before. And then, like I said, you're going to then focus and see. You're going to see what happens at the Hard Rock in June, because that's going to be it's kind of a preparation for that event.
Yeah. What else? What boxing events we have coming up?
Well, I can't think of what's local, but I can tell you that this Saturday night or this Saturday early, out of Japan, Triple G is fighting everyone. Triple G is back.
Yeah.
Yep, he's fighting. He's unifying. He's going to fight to unify belts against Ryato Murata, right there in Murata's backyard in Japan, with a full Japanese fight card. A venue I don't know that anybody's ever fought at before and televised like this and streamed it.
Hi, we're on live. You want to come on the show?
If Triple G can come back and win that fight, they're talking about that trilogy fight with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, of course, has Dimitri Bivol to take care of first. That's not easy.
And Ryan Garcia is fighting Saturday night too.
He is different card. Yeah, there's 3 cards that day, I think. Actually, 2 of them on DAZN, which is Triple G's fighting on DAZN, but it's Japan, so he's fighting. It's like in the morning our time. So when that card's over, later on in the evening, you got the other card coming up. But in between, I think you have an ESPN card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one Michaela Mayer's on? Is that this Saturday?
I believe so, and I think there was one other interesting fight on the undercard, but
it's a good night of fights. I know that. I mean,
yeah.
something really good. You could just sit there and watch boxing all day long and not be disappointed. So check out DAZN and ESPN. Check out some great fights. As far as local fights, Steve, I don't know. You know, I'm trying to think of what we had coming up. I can't think of anything that was on the books.
All right, that's
like
good.
alone.
That's good. Check us out on Twitter, which is new. We're live streaming to Twitter right now. Go on the YouTube. If you missed this interview with A1 Lugo, Jordan Lugo, who's got a fight coming up for $1 million, go to the YouTube channel, check it out. I'm sure Matt's gonna mix up some of the high points and repost those because this is news. This is, you know, Bellator Grand Prix, $1 million. They're paying these fighters to fight big bucks. And you know, it's up for grabs. The champ, Sergio Pettis, who had the belt, got hurt. So now he's not in the tournament. So, you know, it makes all these guys that they have in Bellator banner, you know, they're going to fight. This is going to be a whole bunch of good fights. I'm really excited. Watch us on Facebook Live, YouTube, and what's new for us is the Twitter live feed. So, deuces.
All right. Good night, all.
Stay
Thanks
safe
for
out
tuning
there.
in.